So welcome back everybody, Mike here. I'll tell you what, yesterday afternoon was the first that I have seen the sun in about a week. It has been just rainy and windy and cold and nasty, but it was pretty nice last night. I split a little bit of firewood and I'm going to do some more of that today and cut some firewood, but it's been just pretty miserable, and I guess more rain's coming in tonight, but it won't be long. The snow will be flying. But anyway, before I get started, I want to share a story with you. Yesterday my wife and I went out to lunch. I took the day off of work, took care of some things around the house. But anyway, we're walking into this restaurant, and there's some guy there holding the door for us as we walk in. And I'm like, hey, thanks. And he's like, hey, I know you. And I'm horrible with names. I'm horrible with faces. I just don't remember people. I can remember phone numbers, can't remember names or faces. But anyway, this guy's like, oh, what's your YouTube channel? And here he lives about 100 miles north of us. Real nice guy. He has a Kubota tractor, so we just chatted for a minute. But that is the first time that has ever happened. And you don't realize, you see the number of subscribers growing and the amount of views, but that is the first time that I've run into anybody that that watches this channel. So that was pretty cool. But anyway, today's video is on how to choose your log splitter. And this video is for people who want to cut and split maybe up to 20 full cords a year. So for a homeowner or a landowner or somebody that sells a little bit of firewood, that's what the kind of splitters that I want to talk about today. If you do more than 20 cords a year, you're probably going to want to get into more of a commercial grade log splitter or even a firewood processor. And I know some guys, they use splitters like I have and do 50, 100 cords a year. My opinion is probably not the most productive way to do things or the best use of your time. Now for me, cutting firewood is almost more of a hobby. So, I like to get it done, but I'm not trying to break any world records or anything either. It's all part of the experience. I just like doing it. So for the guy that wants to, cut and split, say 20 cords of firewood or less per year, there's basically two types of log splitters, that you want to look at. The most common one is what you see all the time. You got the gas power over hydraulic log splitter, and they have their pros and cons of those. The pros are you can run them both horizontally, which is what I like to do, and some guys like running them vertically. Sit down on a bucket. The only time I run mine vertically is when I have real big firewood rounds that I can't lift up on it. It's just easier on my back standing than it is sitting down bent over. Other people, it's the other way around, but that's how I like it. So that's the typical log splitter, and they range in tonnages. You see a lot of 22 ton up to 35 ton, maybe even a little bit bigger. But they're a good splitter. They work great. The downside to those are the cycle time. They're not very fast. Probably average around 13-second cycle time, and that is if you run that ram the whole way out and retract it the whole way back. Now most like straight grain woods and things like red oak that splits nice, you don't have to run it that whole way, so that cycle time is dramatically lower. But the typical log splitter, gas over hydraulic, is they're kind of slow, and that would be the only downside to those. And the other type of splitter out there for the landowner or homeowner is these kinetic ones, like the Super Split. I think they were the first ones to make them, and they are wicked fast. They're a pretty neat log splitter. I'd kind of like to have one someday. It's kind of on my wish list, but they're a lot more expensive. Now there's some off-brand ones that are probably okay. I think they probably stole their idea from Super Split. And then there's actually some Chinese ones out there that definitely stole from Super Split, and from what I've read, they're just horrible. You're lucky to get a day out of them. They're basically blowing themselves to pieces. But yeah, so those are the two types of splitters. You got the typical gas over hydraulic, and you got the gas kinetic ones with the ram that works real fast. Now what I don't like about the Super Split is there's no way to turn it up vertical. And even though I like to split standing up for those real big rounds, it's nice to be able to downsize them a little bit with the splitter set up vertically and get a big pile of them and then set it horizontally. So if I ever do get a Super Split, I doubt I would get rid of the one that I have, or I'd probably have two log splitters. If you could put big rounds in the bucket of your tractor or something like that to get them up on there, but generally speaking, I don't like that about those kinetic ones. No way to go vertical. Now something else to consider when buying a log splitter, is how big of a splitter you need. You know, for a typical hydraulic log splitter, they range from 22 tons up to 35 and probably even bigger than that. And that has a lot to do with what kind of wood that you get into, but I think you'd be surprised at what a 22-ton splitter can do. That's all I've ever used, and now I'm pretty fortunate. I can get, you know, I got a huge source of firewood, and I really don't mess around with real big, nasty, gnarly stuff where you may need a bigger splitter. But in the 6 years that I've had my 22-ton Husky, not once has it ever not went through anything. I mean, not one time. It's got plenty of power. It's more so about the cycle time, I think, is more important than the power of the splitter. But like I said, I have, you know, kind of pick of the litter on firewood, and I don't mess around with the nasty stuff. If you're a guy that says, you know, you get your wood from like a tree service and they just drop it off, you don't know what you're getting, you know, you may want to get a 27-ton or even a 35-ton to split that real gnarly stuff. But I've never had problems with 22-ton. And keep in mind, these log splitters, they are a purpose-built machine. They have no other use. You know, so, you know, if you're getting a tractor, you may want to get the next size up on a tractor. Log splitters, I really don't see that being an issue. You know, you're not going to find, at least I haven't been able to find anything else to do with it. But those are the things that I like to consider. You know, I get something economical, run it for 5 or 7 years or something like that, get rid of it and get another one. And that served me very well. But I wanted to share with you, I saw a deal the other day. It's a fantastic deal, I think, from Messicks Farm Equipment. And I'm not affiliated to them at all. I only ever talked to them once, and I just messaged them yesterday to make sure they still had this deal going on, and they do. But they have 2 log splitters. I don't know the whole story of how they got them, but there's a Speedco, which I think is very similar to my Husky. I haven't seen the Husky splitters in a while. They might even be Speedcos. I'm not sure. But anyway, they have a Speedco 22-ton splitter for $999 delivered to your house. Anywhere in the United States, and that's a pretty good deal. And they also have a Woods 27-ton splitter for $1,150 delivered anywhere in the U.S. To your house, and that, I think that's a great deal. So if you're in the market for a splitter, I will put a link in the description for Messicks, and you can contact them. And like I said, I have no dealings with them in the past. I've heard good things about those guys from everybody. They're just not near me. But like I said, they'll ship you a brand new 22-ton Speedco for $999. That's what I paid for mine, and that was 6 years ago. So that's a pretty good deal. So here's my Husky I was telling you about, 22-ton log splitter. Had this about 6 years. Split, I'd say about almost 100 cords with this log splitter. Still the original Briggs motor, and it just keeps chugging along. But anyway, I'll share that in the description, and probably the first comment will have a link to them. And I think that's it. If you have any questions, or if anybody has a super split or one of those kinetic ones, comment below. Tell me how much you like it and what you don't like about it. And like I always say, if you enjoy these videos and you enjoy the finer things in life like firewooding and tractors and rural living kind of things, please subscribe to this channel. And when you subscribe, hit the little bell there by the subscribe button, and then you'll get notifications whenever I upload a video. So that's it. Thanks, and take care.